Hello and welcome back to our playthrough of Gloomhaven 2nd Edition. I'm Emerging Boat, and today we are going to be getting into Scenario 57, Crypt Basement. That is going to be the scenario that we need for Desmond's personal quest. He unlocked that after getting it to level 2. And speaking of levels, the eagle-eyed of you might notice that Dwayne is now level 7 and Satha is level 5. And I have to come clean. I did a scenario not recorded. Gasp! Oh no! I know, I'm sorry. I'll probably occasionally be doing scenarios unrecorded just because sometimes it's more peaceful for me to just kind of play a scenario and just have fun with it myself. It takes me significantly less time because I'm not like thinking through all my explanations out loud and then like talking through them and then, I don't know, second guessing myself to see if I want to do something stupid on camera. But most of the playthrough I'll be doing recorded. The scenario that I did by myself was Scenario 13, Ice Crag Ascent. This was basically a continuation of Scenario 10, and I'm going to talk about this scenario. So if you're not interested in spoilers to the scenario, skip ahead a little bit. But yeah, Scenario 13 was essentially a continuation of Scenario 10, where we continued climbing the mountain. Eventually, by the end of the scenario, we get to the top of the mountain and we meet a dragon who we have the choice of either trying to kill or we have the choice of trying to go help him steal back some things that some Savas stole from him. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. He sounded very entitled, so we'll see about that. But talking about how this scenario went in general, I did actually lose this scenario, kind of. And the reason I say kind of is because I didn't mark it as a loss in the campaign manager, because what I did was after I cleared the first room, I got into the second room and I realized I did not bring the cards that I should have for this. I needed more cards with jump. I wanted to go back and buy some winged shoes with what's his name? Desmond. But the part where it's a little shady is that the reason that I didn't mark it as a loss is because I really liked the battle goals that I had gotten. So I kind of cheated a little bit and was just like, all right, well, I will just like undo everything back to the beginning of this scenario. I'm going to switch out my cards that I need to. And so I didn't feel like searching through the battle goals. I probably could have done it differently in Secretariat. I didn't feel like searching through the battle goals to like find the ones that I had gotten again. So I might just go into the campaign manager and just do another one as a loss. There we go. Okay, I just marked one as a loss. We have a loss on record at least. But yeah, I really like the battle goals because I had gotten 2 perk battle goals for every single character, and they were all ones that were achievable, and I think I did get them all. But let me tell you about how the scenario went in general. Played with all 4 characters, did +1 difficulty solo with the, what's it called? Imbuments. We unlocked Imbuments once we hit Prosperity level 3. Those are like basically making the monster attack modifier deck a little bit harder. So it's not as hard as increasing the difficulty from like +1 to +2, but it does add a little bit of difficulty, and you start to unlock things as you successfully finish more scenarios with Imbuement. So that's why I'm using that. But yeah, this first room was basically filled with hounds. I was able to clear those out pretty easily. I used some losses with Desmond early on because that was his battle goal, was to be able to use 2 losses before his first rest. So that allowed me to complete that first room pretty quickly. And then next, as we got into this second room, there were a bunch of spitting drakes and rending drakes and a bunch of obstacles that almost split this room in half, but there were also a bunch of traps down there, and that's where I was like, I need to bring jump because I don't want to have to go through the traps. I don't want to have to try to like, I'm trying, like the scenario goal for this was just to get to the end. We don't need to kill all enemies, so I basically cleared out that first room and then was like, okay, I need to hurry up through the rest of this as much as possible. So once I got into that second room, basically what I did was I used Dwayne to use Rock Slide to be able to create some more obstacles and try to prevent some of those rending drakes that are in here from like clustering too much in the front and blocking me in. And then I kind of like worked everybody up here a little bit and then used Satha's card, Implicable Advance Top Loss, so that we could have everybody jump and get over the little wall that was kind of bisecting everything. so that way we could start closing in on the spitting drakes that were back there, try to kill those off. I didn't kill all those off, but this was huge for me because this allowed me to like bypass a lot of those rending drakes, at least for the moment, and start to get towards the back of this room 16. Eventually I had the Mine Thief come over and collect the loot, the treasure tile that was in the corner over here. But then we start working our way into this room 7, which had also a lot of, I think it had maybe one hound, but it was mostly spitting drakes and maybe a rending drake. I forget exactly who was in there. But with 4 characters, they're basically blockading that whole exit. So we did have to kill a few of them. We spent a few rounds kind of clustered in this little area, which was tough. I did get pretty low health on a couple of characters, but I was able to lose some cards to keep anybody from dying. And then eventually we did enough damage that we were able to just get all the way through and get out of there. The 2 monster ability cards that I think can really lead to a lot of swinginess in that, just especially because you're not, what's it called? You are not necessarily trying to kill every monster because you're also having hounds spawn. Well, as soon as you open this room, the second room, every subsequent round you're spawning new hounds that come through and can follow you. So you do need to try to be quick because otherwise you're just going to keep facing new hounds. Those ended up not being a problem for me, but the thing that was a problem was the Rending Drake has a monster ability card where it can do a move and then an attack 2 at range 3 or range 4. An attack targeting 2, and that does, I think it did both poison and wound. So those were pretty brutal attacks. Because for the most part, the way I set it up with just the Rending Drakes doing melee, it took them a while to be able to catch up. But those ranged attacks did add a lot of damage. The other card that I luckily did not draw was the Spitting Drakes card that they can stun people with. That one is, if you draw it, especially if you draw it multiple times, you can really get screwed by that. So the Spitting Drakes, I think, are the things that you need to focus down on that and make sure you try to kill. Or at least be disarming them or doing any other kind of like ways to prevent them from attacking. So anyway, yeah, we got a decent amount of loot from the first room with, I think we pretty much split that between Soutether and Desmond. We did get 2 check marks for each character, and I did, before that scenario, I did enhance a movement card for Raphael just so I could have him do his 5th enhancement. And the result of that was the next city phase he would retire. So that means actually that this city phase, Raphael is retiring. But first, we are coming back to Gloomhaven, so we do still need to do a city event. Let's go ahead and do that now. Event effects, draw, city event. We have number 9.
The Seckham Gardens are a massive enclosed greenhouse in the Traveller's District. Exotic plants and humid air make for an attraction to all walks of life. But the primary visitors are the Valraths that take comfort in the oasis-like natural beauty of their ancestral home. Temperatures inside are high enough to make even most Valraths sweat, but Councilwoman Vale doesn't show a drop of perspiration as she winds an iridescent blue vine along some trellis work.
I've discovered some unusual legends.
She expertly weaves it in and out, tracing the glazing of the window.
Or rather, my daughter did. She spends altogether too much time with her nose in a book.
The councilwoman snips the end of the vine, tying it to the trellis with a velvet ribbon.
I am told of a tower between the Watcher Mountains and the Dagger Forest, that a machine of war there challenges all comers. If it is true, you are to defeat it, dismantle it, and bring it to me. I suspect that, like most knowledge committed to books, it is fanciful hyperbole. But regardless, you will see it investigated.
She makes it sound much less optional than most people who hire you. Option A. Ask to keep the machine if you can defeat it. Option B. Ask for access to the city armory to prepare for the quest.
Ooh. You know, I don't really care about getting access to the city armory. I could probably have and buy better things than you can give me. Let's go with option A. Ask to keep the machine if you can defeat it. Maybe we'll get some kind of like ally item, summoning item. Okay. Reputation greater than 6. Let me open a new tab to check my current reputation. Okay, no, I am at City Guard reputation of 5, so it's not greater than 6, so we read. Otherwise, she raises an eyebrow. If it is as dangerous as the legends claim, it will be best managed in the hands of those loyal to the city. There's no question that she's sizing up your trustworthiness. Prove yourself, and I will consider your request. Okay, okay, so technically we got the worst option out of all of these. But that's fine. I would have liked to get that extra reputation, but let's see, let me resolve this. Okay, resolved. All right, so for Raphael, we now say goodbye. I love you, buddy. You were excellent. I really enjoyed switching to a summoning build with you. That was fun to be able to try things out. I do need to sell off at least a couple of your items first. Let's sell off Warden's robes. So that way I can do one last donation with you. I don't know why I closed out of that. Where are we at? Here we go. Donate. Boom. And then we will retire character. Oh, nice. We have at least 12 inspiration, so that's good. So we can check that. Also, we can read section 118.3.
Vermlings live shorter lives than all other common ancestries, and it's no surprise to have them pursue other interests before their time is up. You hope their life remains fulfilling.
Okay, I could have just read that one out loud to you instead of having to come back to this, but that's okay. We will get to open the Circles box. We add some road events to the deck, unlock Personal Quest 12. The card I drew to get rid of as our additional locked Personal Quest is 13. We'll apply this. It'll allow us to open up the 3 Spears box and add some more city events, or a city event and a road event. So let's hit apply. Boom. We'll take care of these. Add. I will not be using the 3 Spears class. I will be using the Concentric Circles class because I did actually paint that one. Go up here, add a character, and we are going to, well, spoilers, that's the 3 Spears class name. We are going to be playing the Soutether. And we are at level 2, nice, that did that correctly. Let's take a look at the Soutether character board. Awesome little pink painting. Well, not painting by me on the original artwork. My paint job is not great. I use speed paints, so I cannot really get that bright, luminescent white color. Her artwork is fantastic, though. The Soutether is they're listed as low range or high range, low melee, low mobility, mid support, high defense, mid control. But the summary is that she is a class that summons. She is a summoner. And she is one of my favorite classes. I loved playing her. I think she was originally just called the Summoner in Gloomhaven 1st edition. I love summon classes. I love this class. I loved, oh my gosh, what was the class name in Frosthaven? The Bone Shaper. I love the Bone Shaper. And Soutether, I think, is even more powerful than she was in 1st edition. At least she plays mechanically a little bit differently because she is a 12-card class here. I think in the original one, she had fewer cards, but she had a way to get more cards back. She also has access to a ton of different summons at level 1. I have tended to play her in the past I did play her in my first partial go-through of Gloomhaven 2nd edition. And then when I did that originally, I tended to play in a way where it's like she had her one like a tanky summon out, one damage dealing summon, and then she would have like more of a support summon, which was either one that was doing like poison or muddle and shield. But I'm going to be leaning into a build that uses more of her stronger damage dealing summons. And I do need to give a shout out to KORPG 11. They have a great guide over on Reddit that talks about how you can actually do this build that I'm looking at. I was looking around as like, I wasn't sure if something like this would be viable for keeping summons alive. And I skimmed through this and I was like, okay, so this actually is a viable build. So I'm going to be trying it. I didn't read all of this just because I don't want to be able, I don't want to have like everything laid out for me as I'm about to try this. But I did get an idea for the summons that they were using. It aligns with the summons that I expect to be using. And it represents a different way of playing the summoner than I've played before. Slightly differently, at least. So go check that out. I will leave a link to that in the description. Hopefully I remember to do that. And if you don't see a link to this in the description, please tag me in my comment and just tell me, Emerging Boat, you asshole, you did not put this in there. There are a few things that I need to take care of right off the bat. I need to give her her personal quest. I had drawn 04. Enter that. I do unlock item 149. Item 149 is the Aether Spyglass. This item may only be used if you are adjacent to at least one obstacle. During your turn, perform Bless Self. So we need to use that 10 times and then we get to read a section. And because we are Prosperity level 3, we get to start off at Character level 2. So we're going to have a level up right at the start here. Our choices for the level up are number 1, Intervening Apparitions, which is a top action of grant one of your summons attack plus 0. Then if you spend a fire, you can turn it into an area attack that targets 3 spaces in a triangle in front of it, that summon. Then the bottom is a Persistent Loss, which says on the next 3 sources of damage that would kill one of your summons, negate the damage and that summon gains Invisible and Stun. You do get to infuse Dark here. And then this is at Initiative 34. Our other option is Void Imbuement. The top action is on the next 3 attacks performed by your summons, add +1 attack, pierce 1 to the attack. That is persistent, it is a non-loss. The bottom action is grant one of your summons, move +1 jump. And if you consume wind, you can instead grant that to 2 of your summons instead. And then this is at Initiative 23. This is such a tough choice for me. At least it has been. I have a specific card that I want to be using because of the build that I'm going to be doing. I think I will be taking Intervening Apparitions mainly for that bottom. I don't know if I will always be playing that card early, but being able to keep the summons alive because of the specific summons that I want to be using, the wolves, I think this will be extremely helpful for making sure those stay alive because they are very fragile. In some cases, I may try to like wait a rest cycle or 2 to be able to play that top attack action because that can be huge. And we have summons that could do an attack 3. And so, I mean, best case scenario, you're looking at attack 9. Maybe it's an attack 6 if you're consuming that fire. But we have ways of being able to do things like a bottom strengthen too for a summon. So that can be a huge damage attack. I have not played with Intervening Apparitions because in my previous play with the Circles class, I did take Void Imbuement, and that is a very stable card. It's just going to be very consistently good for you. Both halves of it are really good. The initiative is obviously better. 23 is like pretty early. You can decently reliably go before a fair amount of monsters. It gives your summons some extra attack. It gives them Pierce. It's a great card to use between rounds where you're not actually directly trying to attack anything, but you want something effective to be doing with a top action. Like this is a phenomenal action to be doing that with. And then the bottom is great for being able to reposition your summons again. Maybe it's going between rooms, or maybe it's within a room and your just summons have gotten themselves into a really dumb position. Grant 2 of your summons, like you should probably be using that with the wind potentially. Because you'll probably have multiple summons out, but granting 2 summons movement +1 jump is fantastic. But again, I'm going to be taking Intervening Apparitions here. I think both of these cards are, you can't go wrong with them. I think they're both just excellent, excellent cards. We also have 2 perks to start off with. One because we are at level 2, another because it's our second class for player number 2. And so I'm torn between a couple of perks here. I think one of the things that I took from KORPG or KOPRPG 11's guide is the emphasis on the invisibility perks. They recommended taking the two perk item here, which says once each scenario during ordering of initiatives after all ability cards have been revealed, all your summons gain invisible. It is nice because similar to the, the Silent Knives perk that allowed them to go invisible, you get control over when you get to go invisible. So if you get yourself in a bad situation, you can just choose to go invisible. This one is a little bit different though, because it is not during your turn. It is during the ordering of initiatives. So that can be nice in the sense of, oh, okay, maybe the monsters are doing something you didn't expect. It gives you a nice oh shit button and just immediately go invisible. Don't worry about the monsters attacking you or your summons that round. Or sorry, just your summons. You're not invisible. Actually, well, I say that, but that's not quite true. Because since you're doing it at the ordering of initiative, your summons are going to lose invisibility on their turn. So if you're going early, this perk isn't really going to help you. You need to do this on a perk where you're going to be going late, or in a round when you're going late. And it's not going to carry into the next round at all. Like, you could do something where you go late, use this perk, and then the next round you go late as well. But I don't know. To me, I think the perk that I want to prioritize is replace 1+0 card with 1+1 go invisible card. We're going to get this twice. It's going to be a little inconsistent because we can never really depend on those modifiers from those draws from the attack modifier deck. But we should be making enough attacks that, like, even with only 2 of these, without thinning out the rest of our deck, we should be able to draw this, maybe every other round we're getting a summon to go invisible. And lastly, I do want to buy at least one item from the item shop because we have 45 gold. And that's the Warden's Robes. When one of your summons suffers damage from an attack, that summon gains shield 2 for the attack. Oh goodness, we're almost 22 minutes into this recording and I still have to go through another level up. Quick look at the masteries. Perform 3 different summon actions before your first rest and keep those cards in your active area for the entire scenario. I will be trying to do this mastery in this scenario because I'm only going to do this scenario with Soutether and the Sawbones. So I'm hoping to do this first mastery. The second mastery is perform 6 different summon abilities from your ability cards over the course of the first rounds of 6 scenarios. This isn't necessarily hard to do, but it's a little annoying in that when you're doing your summons, if you're newer to a summoning class, like, I encourage you to play around with the different summons, try to figure out different combinations that you like. This can be good because it gives you some incentive to, like, try out those different summons. But if you already have a plan for, like, which summons you think you'll be using the most, you generally want to be summoning them in a specific order because the ordering of initiative does matter in terms of which summons are going to be getting prioritized by monsters. So, I generally just try to go for, like, one mastery and then kind of ignore the other. I just like getting an extra perk early, and then I don't really prioritize the second one unless it's also really easy. But I will be trying to prioritize that first mastery. Okay. Let's do a quick look at Dwayne's level up as well. On the left, we have Meteor. The top action is, if you consume Earth, whenever you perform a ranged attack this round, all allies and enemies adjacent to the target suffer 1 damage and you gain an experience. Then, regardless of your element consumption, destroy any number of adjacent obstacles. For each obstacle destroyed, perform attack 2 at range 3. The bottom action is a move forward jump, and the second ability on that says all adjacent allies and enemies suffer 1 damage. This is all at initiative 85. The second action second card we can take is Brutal Momentum. Top action is attack 3, push 2, and the subtext says add +1 attack and +1 push for each hex containing an obstacle or wall adjacent to you. The bottom action is at the start of your next 4 turns, perform move 3, and add 3 attack to your next melee attack this turn. That is a persistent loss, and this is at initiative 37. I have been leaning into the ranged attacks for the Crag cart, so my choice is going to be Meteor here. We can start getting more use out of all those obstacles that we're creating, and this is another card that can help us clean up some of those obstacles if things start to get a little crowded. Because admittedly, I'm not going to be too disappointed when the Crag cart retires. I think if you go for an obstacle creation build, it can be a little annoying for a summoner class to deal with, just because you're now trying to figure out, like, if you have a bunch of summons going into melee, you now have to be competing for even more spaces between your figures and those obstacles. So this is nice. However, I may be backing off of some of that obstacle creation because of having that summoner class in there now. But Dwayne only has a couple of scenarios left, I think, and he's not going to be participating in this one. Brutal Momentum, though, is a really cool card. I mean, being able to do, like, if you're next to 2 obstacles or like an obstacle in a wall or something like that, that's automatically just an attack 5, push 4. Like, push 4 is nuts. Maybe you can push an enemy through multiple traps or multiple hazardous terrain tiles or something like that, but push 4 is a ton of force movement. That's even enough to, like, get a lot of enemies out of being able to attack you that round, even if they can move. Then that bottom loss action is just really nice for being able to, towards the end of a scenario, you're just automatically going to be able to move 3 and get some extra damage to your melee attacks. You can now start prioritizing some other, like, bottom actions that aren't movements, while still being able to get into good position. Or for a scenario like scenario 13, this could give you a ton of crazy mobility because you're just doing move 3 and then doing your turn. But I will be taking Meteor here. For perks, let's just close out these 2 rows that we have started and not finished. Let's replace a +0 with a +1 and create a hex. And let's add 1 +2 immobilize card. Actually, you know what? No. We're going to undo that. Let's take this 2 checkmark perk down here, because this could be fun for a couple of scenarios. Whenever a new room is revealed, control all enemies in the newly revealed room. Move 1. This movement must end in an empty hex. This has the potential to be incredibly powerful, honestly. And this is something that I feel like maybe I should have taken a little bit earlier, but I'm interested in at least seeing how useful it is for, 1 or 2 scenarios. Okay, we are done with Dwayne. Now let's go to Satha. Satha also levels up. At level 5, we can choose between, on the left we have Armory. During your, the top action is a persistent loss. It says, during your attacks, you may move your character token on this card forward any number of spaces to add +2 attack to the attack for each space moved. And it has 6 slots on it. You have potential for getting 3 experience there on after the first one, after the third one, and the 5th one. The bottom action is move 4. If you consume ice, you can then shield 1 and gain an experience for the round. And then the final ability is attack 1 and muddle, add +X where X is equal to your shield value. This card goes at initiative 14. The second card that we can choose from is Unleash the Archers. The top action is grant 2 allies within range 3, attack 2 range 3, and this infuses ice. The bottom action is attack 1 at range 3, consume ice to add +1 attack and muddle and gain an experience. And the second ability says grant 1 ally who has strengthened, attack 2, target the ability of the attack ability at range 3, and this goes at initiative 64. Both of these cards look like they're a ton of fun. That top loss of Armory is just such a cool thing where it's like you get to choose how quickly you're using those charges. You know, you basically get an extra 12 attack that you can split across 6 different attacks, or you could stockpile a lot of it up to like 1 or 2 different attacks. You're probably not using it all in one, but maybe you're doing like 3 of your attacks get +4 attack, which is, that's pretty insane. And being able to have movement and then shield and then attack, like if you are especially going with the defensive build for Satha, this is just like, you love to see this card. You're just going to get a ton of consistent value out of that bottom action until you're ready to pop that top loss in maybe like the middle of the scenario, potentially a little bit early, but that I wouldn't want to lose that too early just because the bottom is so good. Like if you play this with a card that has a top shield on it, then you're potentially getting yourself up to like shield 3 for the round and then doing an attack 4 muddle on the bottom. I mean, it's a very defensive and offensive action at the same time, plus adding mobility. Like there's so much packed into that action. But I will be taking the other option, Unleash the Archers, because I've been leading into the build where I am trying to get my allies extra attacks. The top action on that card is a consistent, basically, attack 6, because we're getting 2 allies attack 3s if we have take command out, which we should almost always have that out. And we have the potential to really burst damage with the bottom action, where we get an attack, and then we're already doing a lot of strengthen, and Desmond, our ally, can also do some other strengthening too. So it's pretty likely that we're going to be able to easily get strengthened on an ally so that we can get that extra attack on the bottom of Unleash the Archers. So that will be my pick. In keeping with the theme of the card that we just selected, for perks, we do have 2 perks, I believe. We are going to take the add 1+0, grant 1 ally within range 3, attack 2 at range 3, or attack 3. We're going to add that twice. And that's just going to continue to lean into our take command card where we are trying to get allies attacks because they're going to have +1 damage on them. Because this could be really attack 3 at range 3 or attack 4 for our allies. I do love the fact that this gives you an option for ranged or melee attacks for those allies because it gives you a lot of that versatility of like, it should almost always be useful when it comes up. Okay, then I actually need to circle back because I don't remember if Desmond has a perk to select. He does! Okay. Every time I read this city phase one, I'm like, shoot, like maybe I should have taken this super early, but whatever. I'm going to continue to ignore that one, even though I feel like it would be really nice because it could be a lot of free gold essentially. But I'm going to take replace 1-1 with 1+1 card and finish out that row. While we are on Sawbones, I am going to do a donation and I'm going to purchase an item. I'm buying the Jagged Sword. During your melee attack ability, add wound to 1 attack. We can get this back on a long rest. So that will be nice to have, especially for things like low health shielded enemies. Okay, I was going to do puzzle book stuff for this video, but I'm going to hold off on that until next video. We'll do a couple of the puzzles because we are already past 30 minutes into this. Let me mark Dwayne and Satha as absent. We do still have Imbuement enabled, so I'm going to keep the scenario level adjustment at +1. So this is going to be +1 solo with the first set of Imbuments. Let us take a look at our Gloomhaven map to see where we're going to be going for scenario 57. It's going to be just north of Gloomhaven. We are going to be in the Copperneck Mountains for this scenario. We will go back and draw a road event. We got road event 44.
A splitting headache, nausea. You feel the crackling pulse of an energy rift looming behind you. You turn to face it, and sure enough, a ring of blue energy, large enough to step through, hangs impossibly in the air. You peer through and see a landscape not dissimilar to your own. Contemplating it could keep you busy for hours, but it feels familiar somehow, like a persistent dream. No, not a dream. A challenge. Do you have the fortitude to step through into the unknown? Option A, enter the rift. Option B, refuse the call.
Ooh. Each character starts the next scenario with light 1. What is light 1? Maybe it'll explain it on the other side. Okay, I guess I'll go option A. Sure. Enter the rift. Each character starts the next scenario with 1 damage. Flip a card. Start it. Wait, what? Oh, son of a bitch. Okay, I found the card in my actual game. Yeah, it's the same road event on both sides. So basically, we could just keep doing this until we have no health left. Okay, so we're all going to start the scenario with 1 damage. Damage applied. Now we'll go to our scenario intro.
The call of Xorn has been getting stronger as flashes of words and images invade your dreams. The word Eastport, a city on a bay. The coastline looks like Gloomhaven's, but the buildings are strange and unfamiliar. Finally, a circle of stones covered in strange glyphs leading to an underground crypt. Then finally, a voice jolts you awake as it fills your mind.
Find me, free me.
You feel an overpowering urge to wander through the streets of Gloomhaven and end up at an old, dilapidated shack on the edge of the sinking market. Inside is a dirt basement with the same long, flat, glyph-covered stones from your dreams. After reaching out and touching the symbols, you're startled by a series of grinding clunks. The stones sink into the ground, each one progressively farther until they form a staircase. You descend down the stairs to discover a circular room with a strange-looking forge at its center. The urge to approach is overpowering, but the moment you cross some invisible threshold, your body seizes up and is lifted into the air, as if gripped by an ethereal force. A ghostly apparition emerges into view and takes its time studying you.
As the light spreads,
It proclaims.
you are the seeker of Xorn.
Your feet return to the ground as the constricting force releases you.
I am the Warden of Xorn. It has been eons, but now that you have arrived, I can finally begin my work.
The Warden begins gathering objects from various shelves, a decayed skull, an unnatural-looking vine covered in thorns, a jar of maggots. As you move deeper into the room, you notice a number of shambling figures moving in the shadows.
The enemies of Xorn would prefer he remain as he is. Despite the eons, they have kept their minions here to stop what we are trying to do this day.
The apparition says as it floats to the forge.
I to survive while I finish my work.
All right, scenario goals. The scenario is complete when all enemies in it are dead. At the end of that round, read section 107.3. Each character is going to gain curse. And we have some special rules. Characters, character summons, and monsters that have poison add +1 to all their attacks. So you're a little bit weakened by poison. You're going to be a little bit stronger with your offense. Let's jump to our scenario setup. We got some vipers, some living spirits, living bones, all things that you can find in my basement. Let's take a look at battle goals. For Desmond, we have Optimist. Remove a negative condition from yourself or an ally 2 or more times. We have Promoter. Perform an ability targeting an ally before your first rest and in between each of your rests. Okay, and we have Overachiever. Kill an enemy and open a door in the same turn in either order. It would be nice to get the 2 check marks, but I think these other 2 are pretty achievable for us. I'm going to take Promoter because I think this is going to just kind of happen naturally anyway. And I haven't used that one before, at least in this playthrough. I don't think. We'll go to Soutether. Oh, I need to name her. Let's go here. Let me name her Arya. Cool. Okay, battle goals. Wallflower. I just always see this one, don't I? And each of you turns adjacent to a wall, obstacle, or objective. Cleaner, collect 3 or more loot tokens in the same turn, and Streamliner, have 5 or more total cards in your hand and discard pile at the end of the scenario. I am going to take Wallflower, which will change my positioning probably for the start here. But Wallflower should be a pretty easy one for her to get. Maybe have her start here instead then. Let's go to our Mercenary loadouts, and then we can be on our way. A quick message from Emerging Boat from the Future. There's 2 things that I don't play completely correctly in this scenario, both having to do with the Soutether. Number 1 is I eventually play the Living Night card to summon the 2 Shadow Wolves, and I keep thinking they have move 2 instead of move 3. I realized this much later in the scenario, but if you're wondering why I didn't do certain things or I didn't move those summons in a certain position, it's because I'm thinking they have move 2. Additionally, there are a couple of times, I think this only happens towards the later part of the scenario, but there's a couple of times where I use grant abilities without having line of sight to the summons because I forget that you have to have line of sight for those abilities. I think that one only affected things where I was like trying to get some extra money tokens towards the end of the scenario. So, but just things to be aware of, keep an eye out for. And now back to the scenario. I'm going to put out a little reminder here for that +1 attack when we're poisoned. Oh, that's reflecting a lot of light through you. Let me move that to a better spot, maybe. That's slightly better. For round 1, I am going to try to go late-ish with both of my characters. Desmond is going to go somewhat late. It's kind of middling, but I just don't have a lot of valuable things I'm going to be doing with his bottom actions. I'm hoping, like, I was debating if I wanted to use the bottom of Syringe next round because I'm hoping that I'm going late enough this round that the Living Spirits will move up a little bit and I can maybe jump into a position that I can get wound on one of them. Then I'm going to be playing the top of Vital Strike. I could actually see this being a mistake because I plan to be going first with Desmond most rounds because I want to make sure I'm taking some of the aggro off of the summons so that way I can try to complete that mastery. So because of that, there's going to be fewer opportunities where I'm going to be damaging an enemy or I'm going to be attacking an enemy that's already been damaged. There's probably going to be a lot of chances where I'm the one who's doing the initial damage, but I'm going to be going down, like I'm probably going to be playing 4 persistent cards with the Soutether with Arya. So I think I can justify playing this loss and probably getting enough value out of it. Meanwhile, Arya is going to put down our main summon, Drifting Stingers, the Floating Jellyfish, as our first summon. That is our most powerful summon. It does an attack 3. It only has a move 1, but it does get a +3 to movement when wind is strong, and it does infuse women while it does infuse women. It does infuse wind when we summon it. So we have to keep that in mind with movement potentially next round. That could be good. It could be bad. Then as my second summon, I'm going to be using the bottom of Planar Protection. This isn't a summon that I plan to be using regularly. It is a summon that I've used regularly in the past with the other like tankier summon. But with this build, I think I would typically want to be using Planar Protection more as just like a disarm so I can disarm an enemy that's in kind of a precarious spot with my summons. But for this scenario specifically, I think I'll value that Muddle and Shield that we can get just to try to help, again, make sure that we get that mastery, but also I do need a third summon ability that I'm going to be playing, and I kind of wanted to play a bottom action just to be better with my action economy, as opposed to doing something like 3 top summons in a row, in which case the last ones would probably be my Wolves, and in that case, they're not attacking until round 4, which is kind of late. So let's switch to this camera and we will draw if I can find the cursor. Okay. We have the Giant Vipers going first. They're going to be doing a move 3 and attack. 1, 2, 3. Okay, not going to be able to get into range. That is good. Then Living Spirits are also going somewhat early. I do think, let's see. Living Spirit 1 I think will be able to get in range. I think Living Spirit 5 is just out of range. Then Desmond will go. Okay, so that should put Living Spirit 1 maybe like here, so we should be able to wound him. Okay, okay. And then Living Bones are not moving! Woohoo! Okay, that's great. I think this is like just the right amount of movement for all the enemies all around. So the Giant Viper 8 will go first. It's going to do a move 3. 1, 2, 3. Although I could have it go the other way, I think. I think I'll just stick with this though. Okay, so that does a move 3, can attack. Then go to Giant Viper 2. It's also doing a move 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. A little bit. Okay. Giant Vipers are done. Then Living Spirits are up. Number 1 will go first and go 1, 2 there. And then that will hit Desmond for an attack 2. Oh my gosh, wow, it'd be targeting 3. Oh, then no, it's gonna go up top here. Shoot. Ah, come on. I moved the flatter rock over. It's the problem with using 3D terrain tile sometimes. Okay, so now it is going to be able to do an attack 2 on both Desmond and Arya. So we'll hit Desmond first. -1. Okay, only 1 damage to old Desi. And then attack 2 on Arya. -1. Okay, only 1 damage. Then we will have Living Spirit 5, move 1 to there. And it is not... Oh, shoot, they only have 2 movement. Ah, okay. I need to undo. I will have to shuffle up that attack modifier deck because I should have only drawn 1. All right, undo that. And then let's do a shuffle. I think if I double click this, that's what I want to do. Yes. Do that a couple times. There we go. All right, shuffled up. Okay. So Living Spirits are now done. The attack only happened against Desmond, not Arya. We will then do a move 3 jump using winged shoes with Desmond on the bottom of syringe. So we'll go 1, 2, 3 there, and we will get a wound on this Living Spirit. Then we will use Vital Strike Stop, get 2 experience. 2 experience. And that will end Desmond's turn. Then Living Bones are up, or the only 1 Living Bones is up. It's going to attack without moving. Nobody's adjacent, so we're good. Then Arya is up. We will use the top of Drifting Stingers to get our jellyfish out on the bottom of Planar Protection. That's going to be 2 experience total. Place those. Jellyfish will go here. Our, what is that ally called? The Rift Spirit. That's also going to infuse wind, and that will end Arya's turn. Ooh, I do need to get the summons out. We are starting with the Floating Jellyfish, and then the Rift Spirit. And that will end the round. For round 2, I'm going to go early with both characters, although I'm actually going to be going first with Arya because I want to get a little bit of damage off on that giant viper, so that way Desmond can get the full effect from vaccine and be able to get the target in. Because ideally what I'm able to do is get a decent amount of damage off with the giant viper from Arya's turn, and then next up when we go with Desmond, the best case scenario is that we're able to kill that giant viper, and then I can use this bottom strengthen to be able to strengthen the jellyfish. And I can get an attack off on that, what's it called? That Living Spirit. And that way, maybe I do enough damage so that the wound kills it on its next turn. But I am, with Arya, I am playing the bottom of Burning Passion. So that way, if we do get attacked with a jellyfish, like there's a chance that it's going to get attacked at least once. We'll be able to at least negate 1 source of damage. And then we also have our planar ally to be able to help us with some of that stuff. Muddling and shielding and such. I do want to get other summons out soon as well, but I just don't have the space to be able to summon both wolves right now, so I need to wait a little bit. Switch to this screen and a draw. Viper is shielding and doing an attack. Well, there goes my chance of killing that. I don't think I'm going to be able to do enough damage. But on the bright side, the other Vipers are not moving up, so that's good. Living Bones, move, attack, heal. It is attacking 2, but it's only moving 1, so we'll be safe. And that heal shouldn't do anything. All right, so that's good. And then the Living Spirit, move, attack at range. There's no ice, so it's not going to stun. Okay, not bad. The Vipers go first. Giant Viper 8 is going to do an attack 3 poison on our jellyfish. Yeah, so it's going to draw this. -1. Okay, so that's going to be 2 damage, but we're going to use our Warden's Robe, so we suffer no damage. But we are poisoned, which could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. Yeah, we'll see about that. Then the other Vipers have no targets next to them, so we skip them. Arya's up. That means the jellyfish is going to go first and do an attack 4 since it's poisoned. Attack 4 on the giant viper. +1 and go invisible! Well, I guess I'm not going to need the bottom of Burning Passion. Yeah, I think I'll have the... Oh wait, would there be any risk that the planar ally would get targeted by the Living Spirit? No, we should be good. Okay. Desmond might be a little hurt, but you know, that's a problem for Desmond. All right, so we go invisible with the jellyfish, and that's going to be what? 5 minus 1 from the shield, so it's going to be down to 4 health. Then the Rift Spirit goes, it will target the Giant Viper Elite with its muddle. And then I get to choose who gets shielded. Dang. Desmond would really benefit from that shield, but he is out of range. So I guess we'll just give it to Arya, just in case something goes horribly wrong. Then I think I might switch up the order of these cards, actually. I'm not going to get anything out of the bottom of Burning Passion, so let's use the top instead of just trying to do an attack 2 on like a shielded enemy. So we will use the top of Burning Passion to strengthen both Desmond and our jellyfish. Jellyfish is just getting buffed up this round. Where are you at, strengthen? There you are. Desmond as well. That will infuse fire. And then we can do a basic move too and get ourselves into a spot where hopefully we can start summoning wolves. And we should not violate our wallflower objective. Okay, that ends Arya's turn. We will start off with the top of Vaccine. We're going to get an experience. This is going to be an attack 4 on the Giant Viper, since it's already wounded, or not wounded, but damaged. So that is 4. Oh, and this is at advantage. Ooh, so that's 6 minus 1 from the shield. That's 5 damage. You are dead, buddy. Dead, dead, dead. Okay. Ooh, baby. All right, so that will go there. Goodbye, Viper. Then we also get to do an attack. This will just be an attack 3 on the Living Spirit. At advantage though, so +0 or +1, that'll be 4 minus 2 from the shield. That's 2 damage, and it's going to die on its turn. Nice. And then, why not? Let's move backwards onto this coin just so we can grab that. And we'll get a loot token. And the jellyfish is already strengthened, so that's kind of wasted, but no big deal. That will end Desmond's turn. Living Bones is up next. It's just going to move south 1 and call it a day. Then the Living Spirit 1 dies, or move that. Drop some money in its place. But the other one is, it's going to have to move up, right? Or this is at range for 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it can hit Desmond without moving. So it will do an attack 3 on Desmond. ×2. Oh, I really should have used Warding Rod, but too late for that. Shit. All right, 6 damage. I can't lose a card for that. Oh, one thing I will retcon. Instead of moving here, forgot I have Thief's Hood, so I can just have used that to not move and loot both those spaces. So we'll get a second loot. And no, we won't do that, because if we did that, then the Living Bones would have been able to come up to us. So never mind. We'll just scoot you right on back. No, that would have been there. We did not use Thief's Hood. All right, all over the place today. That will end Living Spirit's turn, and that will end the round. For round 3, our first priority is getting Desmond out of the way, heal up a little bit. We need to get him in better shape. So he's going to just retreat, but he's going to use the bottom of Teamwork to be able to move our jellyfish friend potentially into better situations so that maybe we can get the most out of interweaving intervening apparitions. This plan, if it goes well, it could be amazing. If it goes poorly, then we are really putting our jellyfish up shit's creek. Because my plan is to try to move this jellyfish between the movement we'll get from Teamwork and the bottom of Unending Dominance. Get here with our jellyfish and then do the top of Intervening Apparitions on that whole group of enemies there. I'd really like to be able to have that jellyfish be strengthened for this group attack, but like the only way I could really do that is if I was also playing the bottom of Forged Ferocity, and I don't think that I can work that in. Both in terms of like movement, and then I'd be going in the 30s for initiative, and that just feels too late. Like I need to I need to do some work right now. We'll still have Desmond use the warding rod on probably himself and the jellyfish, just so that way if jellyfish does, like, maybe we can kill, like, I'm hoping to kill at least 2 of the enemies. And then if one of them's alive, then the warding rod can help reduce some of the damage from that attack from whatever enemy is still alive. And then we can also satisfy Desmond's battle goal for this current rest cycle. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm good with this. Let's draw. Living Bones is... okay, it's not doing anything to us. I was expecting to have to take an attack with Desmond and Arya, but we'll be okay there. Snakes are going after us. Move 3, attack 2. Okay, so would stink if multiple enemies are alive back there, because that could really screw the jellyfish. And then Living Spirit's just cursing. So if there is going to be an enemy alive, it's most likely going to be Living Spirit, and I'll deal with the cursing. Okay, Living Bones is done. Desmond's up now. We'll do the top of first aid first. We'll get that heal 4, go to 5 health. We'll use Warding Rod this time. I'm not going to forget. Warding Rod on Desmond and Warding Rod on the Jelly Belly. Mark that as used. Oh, and we'll say that that was done for this round. Then what do we want to do? Like a move 2 to here, or do I go here? I do need to start getting towards the door, so let's go here. And then we will grant the jellyfish a move 3. Go 1, 2, 3. It is flying, so we can go over that rock. And with this position, we will get an extra attack off, just in case we need to do some extra damage, but I don't want to focus my attacks up in that area. Because I could attack the Living Bones, but it's shielding for 2, and I don't want to deal with that. So that will end Desmond's turn. No, not that. Wrong button. There we go. Jelly Belly is up, doing a measly old attack 4 because it is still poisoned. So attack 4 on Viper 2. No, oh, it is strengthened still. Okay. 4 minus 2 or plus 0. Okay, plus 0. Ooh, wait, yeah, that's enough to kill Viper 2. Great. Great, great, great. And we will take you out and put this in there. Okay. Then, oh, nice. And the muddle is going to stick for next turn for the Rift Spirit. So muddle will go on this Living Bones. Shield shouldn't matter, but let's shield Desmond just in case. Then we'll do the bottom of Unending Dominance. I guess I'll move up a little bit. I feel like I should. At this point, I don't think I'm going to summon the wolves until later in the room and just kind of get close to the door. But I do still need to do it this rest cycle. But we'll move 2 there and then grant the jellyfish move. Well, at this point, I guess I can just go there. And then we will use the top of Intervening Apparitions. We're going to consume that fire. We're going to gain an experience. And we're going to start with an attack 4 on Viper 6. Not an advantage, right? No, it's not. Okay. Attack 6 on Viper plus, or attack 4 on Viper 6. Okay, that is 4 damage. Nice. Nice. Okay. Then we will do an attack 4 on Living Spirit. Fuck yeah, baby! Let's go! Plus 1. That is enough to kill it. Oh man, I'm gonna have karma with some bad modifiers at some point because, like, if we click in here, okay, we haven't drawn as many modifiers as I thought. But we've drawn some good ones. Still have plenty of -1s in the deck. Wait, I should be cursed too, right? I do have a curse in there. Okay, cool. I mean, not cool, but you know what I mean. Correct. All right, that was fucking incredible. I could not have asked for that round to go better. All right. Next round. Yeah, we're done. I probably put more thought into this round than I really should have for such a empty round. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go first with Arya and have my summon do its normal attack, and then I'm going to command it to do an attack +1, which is going to be an attack 5. Between those two attacks, maybe I can kill the living bones, although I think I'm due for some negative modifiers here. So if we don't kill it, then that's fine. We'll probably move like around here, and then we'll have Desmond maybe do top of prep for surgery instead of top of battlefield medicine. That way we can just stun the living bones, and then next round the summons can finish off the living bones. Or maybe his attack is enough to kill it after that. But if we do that, then Desmond can start getting a big move up towards the door. Otherwise, what I'd really like to happen is that living bones dies, then the summoner Arya is able to get on top of that coin over there. And then I would like to use the top of battlefield medicine, mainly because I'd like to start getting some of these med packs into Arya's hand, so that way she has some extra endurance if she starts having odd number of cards in her hand. I think as we get deeper into the scenario, those extra 1 or 2 rounds we can eke out of that are going to be very helpful. So let's see what we've got. We have living bones going at initiative 25, move 4, attack 1, target 2. No big deal. Even if we didn't stun it, it is still not disarmed, muddled. But Arya starts, which means our Jelly Belly is going to go here and do an attack 4. No advantage or anything. +1, that's 5. -1 is 4 damage, so it's down to 3 health. Our Rift Spirit continues to not move at all and also not really provide any value yet. I don't think we've gotten anything out of that disadvantage or the muddle or the shielding, but we will grant shield. I don't know. Let's give it to Arya. Why not? And then Arya is going to go. We'll use the top of. Oh my gosh, what's the name of that card? Unwavering. Oh yeah, Unwavering Hand. So that's going to be an attack 5 from the jellyfish, and we get an experience. God, man, that +1 attack from the poison that's a lot of fun. I say that now, and I'm going to regret it when I start getting attacked while I'm poisoned. Okay, there's a -1. So that becomes 4 damage. -1 from the shield is 3. That's still enough to kill it. Nice. Okay. So that means I should be able to get some loot this round. So that'll go there. Then we can use the bottom of Ethereal Gust, and we will move 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go here because then I can stay next to a wall. Also, I might as well use I might as well use Aether Spyglass, blah, 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 and Bless Self, because we're next to an obstacle. Go in, Bless Self, great. And we infuse Wind, and that's everything. That's our turn. Oh, I need a loot. And that's it. With Desmond, we're just going to do a basic move 2. And then we will gain an experience as we give Arya a med pack. I haven't shuffled these med packs in a minute, so let's shuffle those now. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Great, we'll take that one. Mostly just have it for a card, and that will end Desmond's turn. Oop. And that will end the round. For round 5, we're going to start with Arya so that we can get a shield on Desmond, because I'm about to do something real dumb, and I'm going to be opening the door this round as the very last thing that I'm doing. Yeah, this could really bite me, but I think it could also be good in that enemies in this room, I can start having them come towards me, which would be good for my summons, because I don't want to just wait for everybody to have to get over to this part of the room. And I don't know. Every time I tell myself, or every time I think, oh, it's going to be a good idea to open a door early like this and do it maybe quote unquote a round before I'm ready, before I long rest, I always end up regretting it. So probably will happen this time. I'm not even trying to do the mental gymnastics to try to convince myself otherwise, that I might not regret it. But I might not regret it. Like, my plan is basically that I will need to go late next round, and then by the end of next round, I'm hoping that there will be enemies in this, like, near this door, so that way I can go early-ish the following round. I don't want to wait too long, because if the enemies close in too early, I don't know. I've been going back and forth on if I should summon the wolves next round or this round. But either way, I'm going to open that door. But we will be able to get a shield 1 on Desmond by going first from the Rift Spirit. Yeah, we'll be able to move on to some of these money tokens, and then that way, like, starting next round, we should be able to start getting a lot of damage output. Like, we've already been doing a lot of damage with with Arya, but with getting the hounds out, that's going to be an extra, like, 2 attack 2s, which is a lot of damage, considering it's essentially just passive damage. Anyway, enough about Arya. Desmond is going to do that move 6 and immobilize himself in the door, but we will be able to get rid of that immobilize because we can use the top of Curative Mixture, and while Curative Mixture top is usually amazing for getting rid of poison, you can also use it to get rid of something like this immobilized self. So let's do this. Let's draw. Arya goes first. Jellyfish is already adjacent to Arya, so she stays there. Then the Rift ally, Rift Spirit, just moves up there. We will give shield 1 for the round to Desmond. Desmond shield. Then we will teleport 2, go right here, take that loot token if I can reach it. Grab that and put it there. And we will get an experience for summoning our wolf friends. Let's go there and there. And that will end. Oh, let me get the Shadow Wolves out. Okay, and that will end Arya's turn. I don't know how I'm going to be doing this if I'm going to consistently have 3 or 4 persistent cards for Arya when I have 4 characters laid out here, but that's a for later problem to figure it out. Desmond is up next. We will start with the bottom of Hamstring and do a move 6, Immobilize Self. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 into that door. Okay, and I'm not going to bother with the Immobilize because I'm getting rid of it anyway. But let's find this section. All right, room is revealed. Let's take a quick look at the Skycam. There's not a lot of enemies in this room. I'm a little surprised. There's 2 living corpses. There's the living bones in the back towards us, and then there's the big bad crystal rot up front here. We will have to be careful of that crystal rot giving all those living corpses and the living bones advantage on their attacks. But I don't think I'm going to be in a position to be able to rush down that crystal rot anytime soon. So we'll probably just have to deal with that and, yeah, I don't know, figure out how to mitigate that. But I was looking at some of the attack modifier or the attack cards here, monster ability cards, that's what I'm looking for, and they're not too bad. I don't think we're going to get attacked except from the crystal rot. So let's just finish up Desmond's turn. He does his move, he immobilizes himself, but we're going to do Curative Mixture, so we remove that immobilize, and we're going to get heal 3. And then that will end his turn. Then the Living Bones is going to go and just do a move 1, go right there. And its turn. Crystal Rot will move up to 1, 2 here. 1, 2, 3, yes. So it can do an attack 3 from there. No disadvantage. Does it give itself advantage? I don't think so. No, it does not. Okay, so attack 3 on Desmond, +0. We bring it down to 2 from the shield, and then 1 from Ward. So Ward is gone, and we suffer 1 damage. Then Dark is infused. Was I supposed to infuse Dark from the Wolves? No. Okay, Crystal Rot's done. Then the Living Corpses are each going to move 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's the shortest path. This guy would go here. This one would go there. That will end their turn, and that is going to end the round. I'm going to short rest with Desmond, which means we're going to reset our promoter for this rest cycle. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Sawbones losing prep for surgery. Okay. All right. I don't like losing a consistent source of stun, but there are worse cards to lose. For round 6, we are just going to go somewhat early with Desmond. I debated trying to go earlier, but I think this will be good enough. I want to get out of that doorway, and then we're going to use the top heal of first aid. But we can strengthen. I'll probably end up moving back here and then strengthening that wolf number 1. Then, at least for this round, we're still putting ourselves in a position where if we do start to get attacked, Sawbones will be the priority. The worry would be if that Living Bones comes in and does a nasty attack on multiple of us, in which case I might sacrifice that strengthen and put myself in harm's way with Desmond. Arya is just going to long rest, though, mainly to get back Warden's robes and to allow the enemies to start coming towards us. And we're going to roll with that. And draw. Wow, Living Bones loves that. Sometimes I feel like this does not shuffle cards very well. But there aren't that many cards, so it's just going to move 1. Living corpses are not moving at all. That's annoying. Crystal Rot is going to come up and do another ranged attack. I'm also realizing now that I made a mistake with not planning around the movement for the jellyfish, so it's only going to be moving 1. Which means the wolves can get put in harm's way, potentially. Okay, well, I'll have to do some management to get out of this, because not the best position. The question is, where do I want to move with Desmond? Do I want to commit to my original plan? I think yes. Let's move back. We'll go there. We will strengthen Hound Wolf 1. Strengthen. That gives us our promoter for the rest cycle, and we will heal ourselves for 2. And that will end Desmond's turn, I think. Yes. Living Bones is up first. It will go there, and then do nothing. Living Corpses attack without moving. They don't target anybody. They go. Then Crystal Rot is going to move up 1, 2, 3. Get right in there, and then do 1. Yeah. Going to do the attack 2 against Desmond. Attack 2 plus 1. That's going to be 3 damage to Desmond. And then it's going to apply Safeguard to itself. Nobody is hurt yet on their side. Then Jellyfish is only going to move 1. Planar Spirit is going to go here. This Hound is going to go up, and it will attack the Living Bones. It'll be an attack 2, Pierce 1 at advantage. Null or -1. Okay, great. So 1 damage. Oh, whoops, I'm still on Crystal Rot's turn. That's why I was confused. Okay. Now we do our long rest. Oh, actually this... Nope, it's not going to move anywhere because it has no path. So this is going to get refreshed, and then we will long rest and choose which card we want to lose. I'm going to lose Shadow Dart. I don't like losing the Dark Infusion for the bottom of Mighty Bond for that nice teleport 4, but the downsides of having a great class where you love all the cards is that you don't want to lose any of them. That will end Arya's turn, and therefore end the round. For this round, I want to prioritize generating wind so that we can get the jellyfish into better position. And I want to be flexible with movement. So I will most likely end up doing something like have this Living Bones move backwards 1, and then reposition a couple of my summons. This would allow Desmond to come up, take the spot that the Living Bones is currently in, and do an attack on that Living Bones and the Crystal Rot. I think, well, I would love to get rid of that Crystal Rot as soon as possible. It's got a lot of health. I don't think I can do it this round, but if we can kill that Living Bones, that would be amazing. So we'll see. I'm really not confident in this. I just don't think my timing was good with how I set up getting into this doorway here. But we will figure it out. Crystal Rot is going to be doing an attack 3 at range 4. If the attack ability was performed, Crystal Rot performs heal 2 self and strengthen. But notably, it's not moving. That is, I think that's good. Since it's not moving, then we shouldn't have to worry about the attacks from the living corpses. The biggest threat is just going to be that living bones, because if we don't kill it, boy, are we in for trouble. Okay. The jellyfish is not going to move because it can't. The planar spirit will move up here. Then it can't hit anybody with the confusion or the muddle, but it can shield Desmond for 1. Then Wolf 1 will do an attack 2 pierce 1 on... oh, this is going to be on the Crystal Rot. Dang, it's not going to be on the Living Bones. Okay, so this might rethink my strategy, because I don't... If the wolf isn't attacking the Living Bones, I don't think I can kill it. Attack 2, pierce 1, plus 2 is going to be 4. All right. All right, well, we're still going to use the bottom of Unwavering Hand to do control this Living Bones. You're in range 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, okay. Move you backwards 1, infuse wind. Then we do the top of Ethereal Gust. We will gain an experience, and we will have 2 summons move. Let's have you move out of the way for the jellyfish next round, and then you can move there so you can start getting muddle on enemies. And that will end Arya's turn. With Desmond, we'll move in and go 1, 2, 3. With the bottom of Syringe, we'll get a wound off on the Living Bones because it's not going to affect the Crystal Rot. So we'll wound you. And then we're going to gain an experience as we use the top of Vaccine. This is going to be an attack 4 on that Living Bones. No advantage. Curse. Damn it. Damn, damn, damn. All right, then attack 3 on the Crystal Rot. Oh my god. Fuck, that's not good. It's really not good. Yeah, it's gonna end Desmond's turn. All right, the Crystal Rot is going to do an attack 3 at range 4. It's going to target Desmond. It's going to have disadvantage because it's not moving. It's a ranged attack. So attack 3, disadvantage. We're going to get muddled. Oh my. Oh, okay. Okay. Muddle Desmond. No damage. Attack ability was performed, so it's going to heal 2 self and strengthen. And that'll end Crystal Rot's turn. Living corpses are up. Yeah, okay, there's the movement. So I swear they're moving. But they're only moving 1, so they're not actually going to move. Oh, no, I take that back. This one will actually move to there. And nothing else will happen there. Living corpses are done. Living corpse, or Living Bones, takes a damage. And then it's going to do attack 2 twice at advantage on Desmond. Yeah, okay. Attack 2 +1 or +1. Okay. That's 3 damage to Desmond. And then another attack 2. -1, -2. Okay, that is still 1 damage. Okay. Not in great shape. Oh, wait, I forgot about shield. You're going to get 2 health back. All right. Living Bones is done, and that'll end that round. For round 8, I'm going to go as early as I can with Desmond and get an attack off. Maybe attack the Living Bones, depending on what the order of the monster is going to be between the Crystal Rot and the Living Bones. Because if I think I can kill the Crystal Rot, then I might do that. But it's going to depend on the order of those initiatives between those 2 enemies, because that'll influence how my summons go in an attack. But after Desmond attacks, we're going to get him out of there. And then during, I forgot her name, Arya's turn, her summons are going to start to go in and do the top of intervening apparitions, and we're only going to be using it as an attack 0, unfortunately. A side note is, like, while this is a great attack, I can definitely see the benefit of, especially when playing with the wolves, I can really see how using the bottom of this early just gives you the confidence to be sending your summons into the enemies a little bit more, like, aggressively. Because right now I feel like, I don't know, I played this doorway not great, but right now I think I'm playing a little bit too defensively, and it's hurting me. Let's switch to this and draw. Living Bones are moving and attacking 1, targeting 2. Okay, so maybe not the biggest priority. Ooh, that Crystal Rot is definitely a priority. That is not a fun attack to have to deal with. And then the Living Corpses are not attacking because we're not infusing Earth. So that's great. Desmond is going to do this attack. Well, it's going to be an attack 5. I'm also going to use the Jagged Sword so we can apply Immobilize and Wound. And I think I want the Wound to be the thing that sticks. We really need to kill that thing before it takes its turn. Alright, attack 5, disadvantage. There goes my ×2, and then we have a +0. Okay, but we still at least get 5 damage off on it. That's a pretty hefty attack. And Safeguard goes away from the Immobilize, and we will have Wound stay on you. And then where do we want to move? Oh, I just realized I never put the other doorways in. Okay, doorways are in. I would love to move you closer to those doors, but I'm not able to. So we'll move you back there, I think is fine. And then that will end Desmond's turn. At the start of Arya's turn, the Jellyfish will go first and finally get back into attacking range. It's going to go there and attack that Crystal Rot for 4? Yes, attack for 4. ×2, baby! Oh, nice! That's 8 damage. That's enough to kill it on its turn. Okay. Things are looking up for Millhouse, baby. Increase your experience from doing that. Whoops, nope. That was just your normal attack. So then Planar Ally goes, and it will... it is within range to be able to muddle that Crystal Rot, though it's not going to matter. And then we are going to shield 1 on... We're going to do the Hound. These should be labeled differently. 1 second. Yeah, I'm not sure why the summon numbering is 1, 1, 2, 3. But anyway, we'll shield the first Hound here, because I think that first Hound's going to be the one that's at risk. Then that Hound will go, that Wolf, 1, 2, and do an attack 2, Pierce 1 on Living Bones 5, right? Because they go first. Yes. Attack 2, Pierce 1. Ooh! Wait, why did I have a Bless? Oh, yeah, from my item. I was like, I don't think I donated with her. Okay. That's attack 4, Pierce 1. That's going to be 4 damage. That Living Bones is also going to die on its turn. So I think maybe I should change the order of these. Let's get bottom of Interrupting Apparitions out, and then we're going to get the top of Burning Passion out as well. Because the bottom of Burning Passion isn't going to do anything for us, and that attack isn't really going to do much either. So we will gain Infuse Fire. We will strengthen both Wolf 1 and the Jellyfish, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to get in there to attack with Desmond next round. And then we're also going to be infusing Dark from the bottom of Intervening Apparitions. And that will end Arya's turn. Crystal Rot and the Living Bones both die. So we will take them out and replace them with basement money. Woohoo! Love basement money. And then they will move up. 1, 2 there. And there. And this is getting a little annoying with how these enemies are getting stuck at the door. Preferably, like, the way I should have planned this door out would have been so that the enemies are actually coming in and, like, yeah, I don't know. I didn't give the enemies enough time because some of them just didn't move after I opened that door early, and they just didn't move. Yeah, they didn't go where I wanted them to go. Anyway, all right, whatever. We persevere. Living corpses are done, and that will end the round. For this round, I'm going to go early with Arya and just try to do some damage to these living corpses. I actually may be able to kill living corpse number 4, which would be great. But if I do that, I don't think I'd be able to do that until Desmond's turn. I would love to be able to use the dark that's there to be using the bottom teleport of Mighty Bond, because teleport 5 would be great here. But I think instead what I'm going to do is move down here at the bait, like the move 2 from Unending Dominance. And then next round, I can teleport into this room. So that's be a nice use of teleport. I do need to switch these cards for Desmond, because I think most likely I'll be using the top of Teamwork. All right, let's just draw these and see what happens. Ooh, Living Corpse is going early. It's not attacking, though. Oh, it can poison and cause nearby figures to suffer 1 damage. That's not the end of the world. I actually would like for the hounds to get poisoned, because they're like going to die on 1 hit anyway, so they might as well be doing extra attack. The immobilized won't affect me. So the only things that are going to get muddled and immobilized are going to be Hound 1 and the jellyfish. Let's see. Muddle, immobilize. Muddle, immobilize. Well, there goes that strength in. Their turn is done. And that is probably the most status effects conditions that I've had on a summon, with jellyfish having poison, strength, and muddle, ward, and immobilize. But the jellyfish is up first. It can't move, but it doesn't need to. It's going to do an attack 4 on Living Corpse 4, muddle, and strength and cancel out. So this is just regular, +1. That's going to be 5 damage to number 4. Then Shadow Wolf 1 will do an attack 2. Oh, sorry, wrong order. Number 4 is going to get muddled. Also not going to matter, or shouldn't matter, I don't think. The shield's not going to matter. The shield has mattered a couple times in this scenario, but not mattering now, so I'm not even going to bother placing it. Then Hound 1 will do the attack 2 on Living Corpse 2. -1, so just 1 damage to you. Can I just mark your turns as completed? No, it doesn't work that way for summons. Okay. I do this. Nope. Wolf 2 doesn't do anything. All right, so my summons are done. That one loses Immobilize, Strengthen, Muddle. Then this wolf loses Muddle, Immobilize, Strengthen. Let's start with the bottom of Unending Dominance. We're going to move 2, 1, 2, as I just take out my friends. Let's have our jellyfish move in a little bit here and go 1, 2. Then we will gain an experience as we do the top of Mighty Bond and just have that jellyfish do an attack 4 on Living Corpse 4. No advantage or anything. +0. That's 4 damage to you. And that should end Arya's turn. Desmond is up. We will do move 1 there. Desmond will do an attack 2 on Living Corpse 4. +0. Okay, so that's 2 damage to that Living Corpse. So that Living Corpse dies. And then both Desmond and Wolf 1 are going to take a damage and get poisoned. Poison. Desmond can also use Thief's Hood to pick up the coin that's going to be dropped by that corpse. So we will add another loot to you. Oh, and I forgot there was already a loot token down there, so we'll take that one as well. It's 2 loot. And then we get to grant the attack 3. Actually, when is that? During your turn, if you've killed an enemy. Oh, actually, so wait, I should be waiting until after this wolf goes. that Hound is going to get an attack 3, which is actually going to be an attack 4. Because it is poisoned now. I gotta pull up your modifier deck. Attack 4. Curse! Damn it! Alright. That will end that round. I was hoping to be a bit further in by round 10, because we're going to start playing more aggressively. The rounds are starting to fly by. I'm a bit concerned about Arya's endurance here, but Arya's going to do a teleport 3 into this room. 1, 2, I can actually go here. Hopefully the summon should be able to kill that living corpse. And then Desmond's just going to long rest. And draw. Alright, Jelly Belly goes and moves. Oh, you can actually move here. So we'll go there. And it will do an attack 4. Oh my god, are you serious? Brother, what the actual fuck? Alright. Jellyfish is done. Planar Corpse goes. It will... Planar Corpse. The Rift Spirit is going to muddle you. And we can shield the Jellyfish for 1 this round. Hound 1 does an attack 3, plus 0, that's 3 damage. And I have not been paying attention enough to my summons because that is not enough movement for Hound 2 to be able to move in. Wolf 2. Keep calling it Hound, because I keep calling the enemies, whatever, yeah. The enemies wolves and the, yeah. I'm just a child, I just call things what I want to call them. And I expect you to know what I'm talking about. Let's see. Wolf 2, yeah, Wolf 2 doesn't go. We're going to do the bottom of Burning Tether, and we'll teleport 1, 2, 3 there. We don't do anything with the other card, and we will end our turn. Living Corpse is going to do an attack 4 at disadvantage on the Jellyfish. +1 or +1, so that's 5 damage. It is poisoned, so that's 6. Then shielding for 1, so that brings it back down to 5, and I think it's ultimately going to be 2 damage after Ward. Okay, might as well use Warden's Robes, because I'm going to be long resting next round, I think, so we can save ourselves a damage. Corpse is done, then Desmond's up, heals for 2, which just clears the poison, and I will lose Syringe for Sawbones. Oh, I'm going to get all of our goodies back. That ends his turn and ends the round. For round 11, I'm going to long rest with Arya, and Desmond is going to just move in and go on that chest. I'm not really going to have him bother trying to wrap around and attack that living corpse. So we may end up needing to use a charge of intervening apparitions to prevent our Jellyfish from dying, but that's okay. That's why we played it. Here and draw. Living Corpse is doing the same thing. Oh, that is its nothing special card. Okay, Desmond is going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, land on this chest, and we will loot that in a second. But I'm also going to be doing the top of first aid to heal myself for 4. Go up to 7 health. Then end of turn, let's see what we get here. Yes, confirm. Desmond loots, gain poison and strengthen. Why is there a comma there? Oh, okay. In the rulebook, it has poison, strengthen, and recover 2 cards from your discard pile. So both the cards I played this round will be in my discard pile, so I can get both of those back. And yes, we call it there. Automatically applied. That'll end Desmond's turn, and I will just put these 2 cards back in my hand. Living Corpse is going to do an attack 5 on the Jellyfish because it is poisoned. -1, that's 4. Okay. So we do use a charge of intervening apparitions. That gives us 1 experience. And the Jellyfish is stunned and invisible. But it is Arya's turn now, so the Jellyfish will lose stun and invisible. And then the planar ally, the Rift Spirit, is going to muddle you. And shield's not going to matter. Hound 1 will do an attack 2 plus 0. That's 2 damage. Hound 2 will finally, it has not moved or done anything. It's finally going to move in. Go there. And, oh yeah, then we can recover our cards. Get back Warden's Robes. I will lose Burning Tether. That ends Arya's turn and ends the round. For round 12, I need to open that bottom door, that southern door. So Desmond's going to focus on doing that, but he's going to do that late in the round. Actually, no, I'm going to have him go early, because if the summons do end up killing this living corpse quickly, then it'd be beneficial for them to start moving down. So Desmond's going to open that door early and then heal himself. He's going to clear the poison off himself, because I'd rather have him not poisoned and not getting that plus from the 1 from the attack, just because he's been taking so many attacks. Then Arya is going to continue hugging the wall, and she's going to work her way down here. I don't necessarily want her next to the door, I don't think, because I want to leave more space for the enemies to come out and for our summons to start coming down. But then we'll use the top of Mighty Bond to start repositioning. But I want it to be able to generate or infuse wind for this round, so that way next round the jellyfish can start moving. Okay, let's draw. Living Corpse is not attacking because there's no earth infused, so that is fantastic. Desmond starts. Let's do the heal first. We're going to clear this poison, heal up to max health, and then we will move 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 under the door. Let's open that and see what's in there. Looks like we've got an enemy of each type. We have our living corpse, a giant viper, a crystal rot, and a living spirit. We'll have Desmond finish his turn, coming back out here. And that's all for him. Arya's up, which means we start with Jelly Belly. And we're going to be doing an attack 4 on that corpse. -1, 3 damage. Where are you at? Okay. Then the Rift Spirit goes. It's going to start moving down because that corpse is already muddled. So, not moving far, but it goes there. Then Hound 1 is going to do an attack 2. Oh, come on. Jeez. Then the Wolf 2 is going to move 1 to there. Then we'll do the top of Mighty Bond. We're going to get an experience, and we're just going to have that jellyfish do another attack on that living corpse. So attack 4. Okay, of course, now I get the +1. So it's going to be 5 damage. You are finally dead. That goes there. Then we will move 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think either way I'm going to be attacked by the giant viper with both our characters, unless... Well, I don't need to move in. No, I'm actually going to stay here, because I don't know if I'll mind being poisoned. I might actually be able to help out with some attacks with Arya. We'll do that. We will infuse wind, and then we're done. Crystal Rot is up next. It's going to try to move into melee since it's not doing a ranged attack. And it's going to do heal 1, target 2, and ward. It's going to ward itself, and then I think we're going to have it ward the Viper as well, because I think I actually won't mind that Viper having ward. And its turn, then the Viper is going to do a jump and then attack 1. 1, 2, 3. Attack 1 on both Desmond and Arya. Attack 1 poison. So attack 1, this will be Desmond. It's 2 damage and poison. And then attack 1 poison on Arya. +1, that's also 2 damage and poison. That ends the Viper's turn. The Living Spirit is not in range to attack. And the Living Corpse cannot get into... It doesn't have a path, so it's not going to do anything. It does not suffer that damage. That ends the round. And brings us back to the screen. Round 13, I'm hoping to be able to kill both the Viper and the Crystal Rot. We're going to start with Arya. Summon should come up. I'm hoping that between the Jellyfish and Wolf number 2, they should be able to kill that Viper, even though it has ward on it. Then for Arya's actual turn, I'm going to be using the bottom of Burning Passion, although I don't know if I'm actually going to need that ability. But I kind of want that initiative because I want to be doing an attack on Crystal Rot before Desmond goes, so that way we can have that enemy be damaged. I'm just going to do a basic attack 2, which is actually going to be an attack 3 because Arya is poisoned. Oh, and actually for Desmond, I don't want to play Vaccine. I want to play First Aid because I want to save Vaccine. For Desmond's turn, he's going to do an attack. This would actually be an attack 4 because he's poisoned and the Crystal Rot would be damaged. And then he's going to grant Arya an attack 3, which will actually be an attack 4. So potentially an overkill amount of damage, but that's okay. Our modifier draws have been weird, so we probably need a plan for extra damage. Okay, Arya's up first. Jellyfish is going to move 1, 2, 3 healer because wind is waning wind. And it's going to do an attack for 5 damage. That's going to get reduced down to 2 because of ward. Then our Rift Spirit goes 1, 2, 3. It can't muddle anybody. But we can shield this Hound for 1. Don't know if it's going to make a difference. Then Hound 1 is going to go 1, 2. Hound 2 is going to go 1, 2 and do an attack 3 on that Jellyfish. Wait, are you the one that's poisoned? No, number 1 is poisoned. Oh shoot, I think I messed up then. Because I think Hound 1 should have done an extra damage to that living corpse, so I should have killed it. Without having to have the Jellyfish attack again. Damn it. No, well, whatever. So attack 2 on that Viper, +1, and a summon goes invisible. Okay, so it's 3 damage to the Viper, and we're going to have Hound 2 go invisible. I need to start calling them wolves, because when I have wolves and hounds on the board, it's going to be confusing if I keep calling them by the wrong thing. So, wolf, 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 wolf. Arya's going to use the bottom Burning Passion, and then do a basic attack 2 for the top of Forged Ferocity. It's going to be an attack 3 on the Crystal Rot. +2? Woo! That's 5. It is warded. Brought down to 2. Damn you, ward. Damn you. That's going to end Arya's turn. Desmond, we will start off with the top of Teamwork. This is going to be an attack 4. Do I want to use the wound? No, I'll save the wound for the Living Spirit. Attack 4 on the Crystal Rot. +0. 4 damage. Okay. And then we are going to grant Arya an attack 3, which will really be an attack 4 as well. Oh shoot, no, that's not supposed to be his draw. I'm just gonna pretend like I didn't see that. I'm just gonna pretend. This needs to be Arya's deck. Attack 4. Okay, well, it's gonna be ×2 anyway. That's 8 damage. Okay. Crystal Rot done. That's good. Feeling better about this. And then I can have Desmond move backwards 1 space to collect a loot token and get out of range of the Living Spirit attack. Okay, then I think it's going to end Desmond's turn. Living Spirit's up. It will do 1, 2, move there. And it can only do, so ultimately be an attack 3 on Arya. +1. Oof. Ooh. Uh-oh. Alright. Arya, I mean, that's good because she's just been a little bit of a meat shield. So that's great. We don't need anything more from her. She can back off. Living Spirit's done. Then the Living Corpse is going to go move 1. I love that they're only moving 1 because they're so low level. Attack 5, nothing. Poison, nothing. Okay. Done. Oops. Done. Done. End of that round. I also just realized I don't think I reset promoter from my last rest cycle with Desmond, but I did grant Arya an attack, so I think we're okay there. Then I'm going to short rest now with Desmond because I think I really want a move 3. I think we're doing okay on endurance right now. 3, 2, 1. I'm going to think about that. Yeah, I'm going to lose a health to lose a different card because I really don't want to lose that card. 3, 2, oh gosh, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I'm okay with losing this at that point. I've gotten a lot of value out of that card. For round 14, we're going to go first with Desmond, and we're going to move up into this space so that we can do a nice big hamstring attack. We attack 5 on that living spirit. We'll use the jagged sword so we can get wound on that as well. And I'll also probably be starting off with Lucky Eye because we can strengthen a lot of people right now. Although, I don't know, actually I may hold off on that. I don't think I'll be killing the living corpse this turn. I just really want to kill the living spirit. But then Arya can go and she can have the jellyfish move up and do a nice big attack on that living corpse. Switch to this. Well, let me adjust this camera. Desmond looks so ominous there now in the shadow. Okay. Draw. All right, living corpse is doing an attack 3. Living spirit should hopefully be dead. So we will start with Desmond. We will do a move 1, 2, 3. And we're going to do a nice big hamstring attack. A little hammy whammy. We attack 5. And oh, wait. Well, I honestly forgot that I drew that earlier and undid it. Okay. So that is 10 damage. That is way more than we need for this living spirit. It's ultimately going to be 8 after the shield, which kills it. Kills it dead. Go there, and why not? Let's use Thief's Hood. Just collect these 2 money tokens. Go up to 6 money tokens for Desmond, and did I get the experience from that? I did. Oh, okay. I also was going to use Jagged Sword. I know I just killed the enemy, but I did want to use that, so I will mark that as used. And that's going to end Desmond's turn. Next up is Arya. The jellyfish will go here. This is going to go here, and I guess it would go. Actually, I think it'd go here. And then, who do we want to shield? I mean, it's not going to matter because the living corpse is going to be attacking Desmond anyway, so does not matter. And 2, 2. Okay, now it's actually Arya's turn. She will move here. Actually, no. I think let's reverse these cards. This way we can infuse wind. We're going to control this living corpse. Move up here and infuse wind. Then we'll do just a basic attack 2, which is going to be an attack 3. Plus 2, that is going to be 5 damage. That will end Arya's turn, and then we have the living corpse going. The corpse is going to do an attack 4 on Desmond. Ooh, plus 1, that is going to be 5. Okay. That one hurts a little bit more than I was expecting. But that ends Living Corpse's turn and ends the round. Okay, for round 15, I'm going to long rest with Arya. Actually, you know what? No, I take that back. I'm going to short rest. I don't think I need a long rest here. 3, 2, oh, well, actually, I could clear that poison off of me. Nah, all right. We're going to short rest We are losing Forged Ferocity. That's fine. I can lose that. Instead, for round 15, we're going to go first with Arya. And our summons maybe can kill that living corpse as long as we don't draw anything terrible, like a null. I forgot the jellyfish does have fly, so it can still get around and attack that living corpse. Then we can do some repositioning with the summons with Ethereal Gust, and we'll just heal ourselves and give ourselves ward with the bottom of that medical pack that we've had in our hand for a while. Then, if that enemy is still alive, we will use the top of battle or the top of vaccine to kill it, or another change of plan. I'm going to bet on our summons being able to kill that living corpse, and then I'm going to be able to use the bottom of booster shot just to get our promoter goal for this rest cycle and heal up a bit on Desmond with curative mixture. All right, now that I've gone back and forth enough, let's draw. Arya's up first. Jellyfish will go 1, 2, 3, and do an attack 4. 8. Whoa, what? Okay, I mean, it did get shuffled. All right, nice. 8 damage. Not too shabby. That kills the living corpse. Our wolf won't have to attack. Oh, geez. Okay. I can have... I don't care about you getting closer. I'll have this wolf get closer to me. Then on Arya's turn, we'll use the top of Ethereal Gust and have the jellyfish go 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go there. And then... let's have this wolf go 1, 2, there. Then Arya heals poison off herself and gains ward, although that doesn't really matter. Actually, nah, we're going to use this as a basic move too. Undo some of those things, and we're going to take this loot token here. Sorry, Desmond, I know you were planning on taking that, but too dang bad. I want some loot for Arya, because that could be few and far between. That'll end Arya's turn. Desmond's up. We did actually need to give an experience to Arya. But Desmond will move 2, strengthen 1. Let's just do it on that wolf because there's no way Arya is going to be doing anything next round that's useful. And so we complete our promoter goal for this rest cycle. And then we will clear this poison off and heal 3 with the top of Curative Mixture. And end Desmond's turn. And that will end the round. I'm going to take my time and not rush into this next room. I'm going to long rest with Desmond so I can get back the Jagged Sword and heal up a little bit. And then with Arya, we are just going to do a little bit of preparation. We're going to strengthen a couple of our summons. I'd love to be able to infuse wind here for the jellyfish for the following round, but I don't really have a way of doing that without an enemy being on the board. So actually, the bottom of Unending Dominance might be more valuable next round, so let me swap this. I don't think I'm going to be able to use that next round necessarily to be able to infuse that wind, so I'd rather have the bottom of an Unending Dominance so we can grant a summon, aka our jellyfish, move 2. Anyway, this is mostly just about letting Desmond long rest more than it is anything else. So we draw. Arya's up first, so I want any... I will have you move up 2 spaces, that's fine. I don't need any of my other summons to move close to me. I will strengthen. So you're about to lose strengthen, so I'm going to strengthen numbers 1 and our jellyfish, although our jellyfish probably won't even be able to use this. And then, yeah, I can't infuse that wind, but I can't really do anything with it, so I'm just going to not do anything. I will end Arya's turn. I will lose First Aid, and I will get back my Jagged Sword and my Thief's Hood. And that will end that round. We need to reset this. Round 17, we are going to go first with Desmond, open that door, and then I don't know where the enemies are going to be. I mean, there's at least some going to be back there. I don't know if there's going to be any towards the front, so I'm just going to play it safe and just be able to heal myself, so that way I'm not like depending on being able to attack an enemy. Then for Arya's turn, we're going to go as late as we can with the remaining cards we have in our hand. And we are going to hope that our summons can get in and at least do some attacks. Let's go here. Let's draw and let's open that door. 1, 2, 3. 2 movement remaining as we stand on that door hex. And let me fill this room with the things that we will slaughter. And it looks like we've got 1 giant viper, 1 living bones, 1 living spirit, and 1 living corpse. Why did I go back to this screen? Nobody knows. I meant to do this. So yeah, we'll probably end up having to push our way into this room pretty deep because that living corpse is pretty far back there. Living spirit is going to be able to attack Desmond depending on where we land. Actually, we should be able to avoid the attacks from the viper and the living spirit. Let's see, living bones, move 3. 1, 2. Yeah, we'll get attacked by the living bones, I think. So yeah, I think the key position I need is right here, and that way I only take an attack by the living bones. Where the heck is the living corpse at? Oh, of course, move 0. Okay, that's fine. Oh wait, the giant viper had 3 movement, doesn't it? So actually, let's do 1, or we're here, we can move back to here with our 2 movement. And then we will heal up for 3. And I think that's the smart play, and we will end Desmond's turn there. Living Spirit goes next, and we'll move 1, 2, and can't attack anybody. Then Giant Viper is up, move 1, 2, 3, and also cannot attack. Then the Living Bones is up, and guess what? 1, 2, 3, it cannot attack. Then it is Arya's turn, and our summons can actually attack. Hallelujah! So let me put the cards in place. Our jellyfish is still poisoned, and it has strengthened, so we're going to do an attack 4 at advantage on this giant viper. Wow, that is not the best attack, but it's still 3 damage. And on the bright side, we get that -2 out of the way. Clear that. Then our Rift Spirit can not do anything useful, because that shield is not going to matter. It can't muddle anybody, so... Okay. The Wolf 1 will go here and do... Who is it going to prioritize attacking? The Viper. This should be an attack 3. Oh yeah, 3 at advantage. +2 or +1 invisible. Oh, 5 is enough to kill it, isn't it? Yeah, I'm going to take that +2 because that gives me enough damage to kill it. Now I don't have to waste another attack, so... Elite Giant Viper is dead. Oh, look at all these money tokens that I'm just not picking up. What a shame. Then our... Let's see, we'll take Strengthen off of you. Then our other wolf will go and just move up 1 space there. Oh my god, these wolves move 3. This entire time, I've been thinking they move 2. I'm sure if you're watching this video, at this point, you're probably like, Emerging Boat, what the fuck are you doing, man? These wolves are not moving far enough. Oh man, I wonder how much that would have helped or hurt me. This is where it'd be worthwhile to actually put it in edit or something. Shoot. Okay, well, I will actually do that here. Go here. So that wolf can do an attack 2 on that Living Bones. +0, so that's going to be 2 damage because it bypasses the shield. Then let's have this wolf. We're going to be using the top of Mighty Bond. Is this what I want to do right now? Yeah, let's have this wolf go up 1, 2, 3 because I have 3 movement. That's amazing. And we will do an attack 3 Pierce 1 because you are poisoned. -1, 2 Pierce 1, so that's just going to be 1 damage to that Living Spirit. We do get an experience for that. Then I'm going to move down 2 spaces to here. Start moving towards some of that loot, and we're still buying an obstacle, so we still have our Wallflower objective. I don't think I've messed that up this scenario, but who knows. And then we're going to grant Wolf 2 move to, and we're going to move him into this immobilize and poison trap because it clears the doorway out a little bit, and we get poison so we can do more damage. Poison and immobilize. I think that's what those traps are. Yes, that's correct. Okay. Boom. Arya is done, and I think that ends our round. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The living corpse has to do nothing, and good job, buddy. You did it. Next round. We will short rest with Arya. 3, 2, 1. Okay. We are losing Unwavering Hand. Okay. That's fine. We are starting to get into cleanup mode here. So we're going to go first with Arya and just let our summons do some attacks. Oh my gosh, it's so amazing these wolves actually have 3 movement. It's like, it's like a free enhancement I just got. But yeah, we're going to, with the Bottom of Burning Passion, hopefully I can just use that as a move too. Like hopefully I'll be able to kill enough of the enemies that I'm not going to care about negating the damage. I think we're in pretty good shape right now because we still have 2 charges left of Intervening Apparitions. And we still have Unending Dominance, so we could get back that Intervening Apparitions if we needed to. But I don't want to risk the Mastery. I'm just hoping to get a little bit of money here, so we'll move a little bit closer to the money if we can. Then Desmond is going to go, and we... oh, shoot. I need 3 movement, not 2. That's fine. He just won't be able to attack, but I'll be okay. I just want to be able to get my positive effect turning, or an ability targeting an ally this round. So we'll go with this. Go to the screen. We'll draw the cards, and we'll see how much we're going to do in terms of damage. Wow, I really thought I was going somewhere with that one, and then I wasn't. Okay, Living Bones is going to be moving and attacking. Hopefully we'll kill it because I don't want it to target 2. Our Living Corpse friend is moving, but not enough. And then Living Spirit is doing a beefy attack. So hopefully that wolf up there can kill it. Otherwise, we'll have to use a charge of Intervening Apparitions. Okay. Jelly Belly is up. Let's have you go here. Although it's not really going to matter. Let's have you go here so that way you're closer to the other enemies for the next round or 2. And this will be an attack for... No! Son of a bitch! Okay. Dang. Then our Rift Spirit will go here and muddle the Living Bones. That Living Bones is probably not dying. And then let's shield... if we shield the jellyfish, then... I think the jellyfish can actually withstand that attack. Wolf 1 is going to do an attack 3 on that Living Spirit. Attack 3, Pierce 1, plus 1. That's 4 Pierce 1. That is 3 damage. That is 1 more than we needed to kill it. That's fantastic. Everything's fantastic. You know? Life's good. What next? Then the other hound is going to do an attack 3 because it is poisoned as well. So attack 3, Pierce 1. Plus a 0, that's 3 damage. Where are you at? There you are. Okay. Mobilize is done for you. We'll just use Mighty Bond to have the jellyfish do an attack 4 on that Living Bones. Alright. 8 minus 1 from the shield, it's going to be 7 damage. Boom. Dead. We also get an experience from that, and I'm out of money tokens. I think there's supposed to be 25 though, so I can still place more. Okay, so we get another experience, and then we will move just a little bit closer to that sweet, sweet money. And Arya's done. Desmond is up next. We're going to move 2. We are going to strengthen the jellyfish. And that's all we're going to do. Yep, Desmond's turn is done. Living Corpse goes last. You move up 1. Good job, buddy. You did it. Woo, we're all so proud of you. And we're now done with you because we're going into the next round. Time to short rest with Sawbones. 3. Actually, do I want to just long rest with both of you? Who cares? Let's just short rest. 3, 2, 1. Okay, we lose vaccine. At this point, that's fine. We also reset promoter. Although with promoter, if I don't rest again this scenario, then I think I still meet the battle goal. For round 19, we will start with Arya. We are going to move on to some money tokens with her. We're going to let our summons go up and do some attacks on that living corpse. And then we're going to do some repositioning of our of the summons as well, mainly to get the jellyfish a bit closer. I expect we will be ending this scenario next round. Desmond, on the other hand, is just going to do a big move and attack, or I might have him move back onto a money token. Yeah, we'll see how much damage the summons do. So I may actually just move back there. All right, let's go here and let's draw. I just realized you can't even see Arya herself because she's just off the map. So, oh well, she's doing sneaky things. But Arya is up first. The jellyfish is going to go. It can only move there. Then, see, this guy can go here. Oh boy. Then, what else? Wolf 1 will go 1, 2, and do an attack 3. +1, that is 4 damage. Okay. Then Wolf 2 will go, it's going to go this way. Go there. Sorry. Move 3. Keep forgetting. Then Arya's up. She's going to move on to one of these money tokens. Collect that. And then she's going to give our jellyfish a move 1, 2. Oh, actually, maybe I should have done this in a different order. We're going to start with the top of Ethereal Gust. We're going to get an experience for that. And we will grant this hound, this wolf, 1, 2, 3. Then the jellyfish can go here. Then we do the bottom of Unending Dominance, do that move, and then give this jellyfish a move to there. And that will end Arya's turn. Actually, let's have the jellyfish will move here, so that way when the living corpse goes, it attacks that other the wolf. Not that it really matters, but attack 6 on that wolf. +0. Okay, so then we need to use a charge of intervening apparitions. So wolf number 1 is going to be stunned and invisible. Invisible, stun. Okay. And that ends your round. And Desmond is up. Let's do bottom of Battlefield Medicine. Do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I'm just going to go here, actually. I'm going to go here. We're going to get that loot token. We are going to use our lucky eye so that we can get promoter done. So actually, again, I don't really know if I need to do that, but that's going to strengthen Jelly Belly and Wolf 2. And that's all we're going to do. Next round, please. Arya will short rest. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Unending Dominance. Yeah, it's fine. We should be able to lose that. Okay. Round 20 should be our last round. So we are going to collect some more loot with Desmond, and that's kind of it for him. Then we're going to hope that all of our summons can kill that living corpse. Worst case scenario, we don't. We get another round to collect some money tokens. Not a big deal. Go here and draw. Desmond is up first. We will use our winged shoes and the bottom of Curative Mixture to move 1, 2, 3. Go here. Collect that money token. And then do nothing with the top of Booster Shot. Jelly Belly is up. Move 1. Attack 4 at advantage. -1 or -1. That's 3 damage. Okay. Strengthen gone. Then you go up here. You will muddle this guy. And we'll shield Jelly Belly for 1. Then Wolf 1 is stunned, it loses invisible. And then Wolf 2 is going to move 1, 2. It is poisoned, so it's going to do an attack 3 at advantage, +0 or +1 and invisible. And you know what? I'm going to take that +0. I'm only going to do 3 damage. And yeah, we're going to be okay with that. Wait, no, not lose poison, lose strengthen. All right, Arya's up. Let's do the bottom of Burning Passion just to get a movement, get another loot token. And then we'll do the top of Mighty Bond. Oh, shoot. Okay, I think I've been breaking the rules for these grant abilities. Yeah, because I still need line of sight. Dang, okay, well, that's my fault. All right, what do I think I'll do here then? I think between the last few rounds, what could have happened with that? The Sawbones could be somewhere up here and would have collected 1 fewer loot tokens. So we'll bring him down to 7. Then with the Summoner, maybe we could have been in here and we could have collected these 2 loot tokens, so this one would still be there. I don't know. That seems roughly right. So we'll go with that. I don't think it's game breaking. It's just maybe I could be getting a little extra loot because of those. Yeah, we'll do the top of Mighty Bond just to get an experience. Let's have you move here, and that's it. Then Living Corpse is up. It's going to do an attack 5 on Jelly Belly. Disadvantage. It's actually attack 6 because it's poisoned. Null. Okay, no damage. It's actually kind of hoping to get that last experience from intervening apparitions, but oh well. Living Corpse is done, and we go to the next round just for shits and giggles. We're going to short rest with both characters. It doesn't matter which card I lose at this point for each of them. Oh wow, you're down to 2 cards. So we'll lose that. We'll lose that. Now this should actually be the final round. We're going to get a little bit more money with Desmond. We're going to get a little bit more experience with Arya. And then we will be done. Let's just draw these cards and be done with this. Desmond starts off. He's going to move over here. He's going to collect this money token. And Desmond is done. Done Desmond. Then Jelly Belly starts for Arya. That is going to be an attack 4. Attack 4 +2, that's 6 damage. Dead. Boom. Go there. Okay. The rest of them we don't care. We're just going to get an experience from doing the top of Mighty Bond. Nope, just 1. And that is it.
As you strike down another terrifying monster, you are overcome with a compulsion to return to the forge. As you approach, you see the warden has finished with its work and is standing above a gruesome scepter. You feel an uncontrollable urge to take it and lift it over your head. As you do, the skull at the end of the scepter starts to glow and pulse before releasing a shockwave of green energy throughout the room, reducing your remaining enemies to dust. The apparition smiles in approval.
Go back into the world. Use the scepter of Xorn. Spread his plague. The more it spreads, the stronger your connection to him will become. In time, he will reveal to you his final resting place. You have done well so far, Seeker of Xorn. Your journey is almost over.
As you depart, scepter in hand, the ghost begins to fade from view.
Thank you for finding me. My service is now complete. May the Blight ever strengthen you.
You leave the crypt, eager to finally unlock the mysteries of Xorn.
All right, but Desmond's definitely got a little bit of a dark side to him. We unlocked the Scepter of Xorn. I'll pull that up shortly in Secretariat. Let's go ahead and mark this scenario as completed and successful. Boom. Item, Scepter of Xorn goes to Desmond. We see it here? Yeah. During your turn, if you do not have poison, gain poison to perform poison and curse target 3 at range 3. So pretty great for Desmond to be able to have this, since he can heal himself and remove poison before that heal actually occurs. He's generally going to be in melee range, so he's going to be around enemies pretty often. I will have to get rid of some item. I should have thought about this before buying that jagged sword. Whoops. Yep, because I should have known that this was going to be a one-handed item. Like this is... yeah, I did know that. Oh well. Too bad. We did complete both of our battle goals, so we'll get those. Desmond will be leveling up. That is great. Arya, not quite yet, although, I mean, what, I think 25 away from a next level up, so it's pretty good to get half a level in one scenario. Let's check out our scenario statistics. Arya, holy crap, did 122 damage. Desmond more so did some tanking. I'm a little disappointed in how much damage Desmond did, but he had a retreat at some points too, just because he was taking so much damage and saving the summons. But we did also complete Arya's mastery, so that is good. I was a little defensive with how I played, especially early on, so we could complete that mastery, but at least we have it done. Those damage numbers from Arya are definitely juiced up though from that extra damage we could get from being poisoned, because the jellyfish was poisoned like the entire time. But we also had a lot of inefficiencies. Anyway, well, I'll get to that in the wrap up in a second. So let's finish that there. Check if we got credit for Imbuement. Yes, we did. Okay, great. All right, let's do a quick debrief and then we'll wrap it up. This video is going on a little bit longer than I would have liked for a 2-character scenario, but that's fine. We had a pretty long introduction, and I was just a little inefficient with how I played the Summoner. I'll have to see. I did break this video up into a couple parts, so I think I actually will be able to put in a note about some of the abilities that I messed up in terms of, there's probably some spots where I messed up some of those grant abilities to my summons because I kept forgetting I had to have line of sight for those. I don't know why that's harder for me to remember than like the control abilities, but whatever. And then what was the other thing I messed up? Oh yeah, the movement for the wolves. I think the scenario went pretty well though. Like aside from how I handled this doorway, and this doorway, it was just a little odd because I don't regret opening it early. I think I regret how I plan to move some of my summons in. I think the biggest thing being that I wasn't really thinking about the wind that I would need to be able to move the jellyfish up closer, because like I had done so many granting of movements for it down here that were like granting it static movement from both Desmond and from Arya, that I was forgetting that it only has one basic movement. And then because the enemies didn't really move, like I gave the enemies 2 full turns to be able to try to like come up into the room, because if I had even one enemy come into the room, I think that would have made a big difference in terms of how quickly I could start getting those enemies melted down. But because we got into kind of the perfect storm of like blocking the doorway up, like we could only really have one person doing melee attacks for a little while, that slowed things down a bit. There's probably also cases where I forgot that the jellyfish had flying, because I wonder if 1, 2, 3. It would have been tough to get out of that spot. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so this whole area was probably the biggest opportunity I had for improvement. Also, just knowing that the wolves had 3 movement, I'm really excited to be able to go into a new scenario and be like, oh yeah, these wolves have basically just have a free enhancement. That'll be nice. But I love playing as circles, and I also really, I really like playing as her. I am still going to be experimenting with how early I want to play intervening apparitions. I can definitely see how playing it early gives you that courage to be a little bit more bold with how we just play in general in terms of like pushing and being aggressive. But that attack is just so good that like being able to do that once, maybe twice, could be worth it before we actually play it for the bottom action. But moving forward, I probably will not be playing planar protection. I really just did this for the mastery. It can be good, but especially in this scenario where we were getting kind of choked up in terms of position and everything, we weren't always able to get the muddle out. We weren't always able to shield somebody valuably. And then if we go late in a round, then that shield is kind of not really doing anything. So it has the potential to be good, but it's just not as good as like, I would have liked to have that summon out that just has the innate shield one and retaliate, the Iron Beast. So that is a good summon, but I didn't want to take so long with summoning because they were all 3 top action summons between the jellyfish, the beast, and the shadow wolves. But in retrospect, like I ended up delaying when I got the shadow wolves out anyway, so it would have just been a matter of kind of like swap, like the jellyfish getting summoned a little bit later. So this summon is just better. But on the other hand, it is nice to have that Rift Spirit out because, the Iron Beast also would have been less effective because it's just another summon that we'd have to have in melee range. So actually, I don't know if I made the wrong decision on that. I think I actually probably made the right decision. Who knows? But fun class to play. I'm so excited to have her around. I'll probably try to keep her around a little bit longer than I normally would for characters because I just like playing her. And then with Desmond, there were definitely times where I wanted more interesting things to do on the bottom of my cards. Part of it is because we don't have another ally that is another character ally that's in melee. It was hard for him to do some of the things that he really wanted to do. Like he can't get his prescriptions out. He can't really, it's harder for him to get those med packs out to the Soutether because she's not always in a position where she can be close to the Sawbones. So just the Sawbones support style does not always mesh super well with the Soutether. But let's wrap this up. I had a fun time with this scenario. I think the next video will probably be me doing the solo scenario for Satha because she is level 5 and she's probably not going to be around super long. So I want to do those. I like doing those solo scenarios as soon as I can. A, because they're geared for level 5. B, because I want to be able to use that class item for as long as I can while I still have that character out. So yeah, that'll probably be the next video. Hopefully that should be a relatively quick video, and then we'll probably jump into a 4-character scenario. Even though I like doing 3-character scenarios, it's like the ideal character composition or character count. Now that I have 4 characters, it's like 3 is the least enticing number because I'm like, well, then I'm only leaving out 1 character. Do I want to just be advancing all my characters, or do I want to go to like a 2-person party so I can just have like a relatively, well, I don't know. This still took me a while. Sometimes, yeah, I don't know. Sometimes scenarios just take me a while. I digress though. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate your time. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Take care. Goodbye. I love you.